Are you looking to become pregnant or maybe just getting started on your pregnancy journey and wondering how to stay active, strong, and energized in your pregnancy? I want to help you avoid 3 big mistakes that many women make in their first trimester of pregnancy. Don't worry, each of these mistakes can be remedied, and I'll be giving you an action step to take for each one so you can avoid these common pitfalls and feel strong and empowered in your pregnancy. So grab a pen, paper, and let's get started.
Postpartum is hard. One second we feel like our bodies are miraculous, and the next we feel like we're a complete mess, out of touch with the strong, confident women we used to be, all while the fitness industry pressures us to bounce back as quickly as possible to a body that never looked like it was pregnant to begin with. That's why, whether we're 3 days postpartum or 3 years postpartum, we need the refreshing truth of gospel-focused fitness to give us energy for the physical challenges of motherhood, peace with our postpartum bodies, and kingdom-centered motivation to train for strength and stamina. So mama, whether you're sipping on cold coffee or folding 5-day-old laundry, I pray by listening every Monday, you become equipped, encouraged, and empowered for a strong motherhood, all for God's glory. This is the Strong After Birth podcast. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, friend, and welcome to the show and the first of many where we will be focusing in on strength training throughout pregnancy and beyond for faith-fueled moms who want to be faithful stewards of their health, have the energy to keep up with their growing family, and be at peace with their God-given body. So without further ado, let's get after it and focus on 3 big mistakes you want to avoid in the first trimester of pregnancy. The first 13 weeks of pregnancy, known as the first trimester, can be a wild ride for a lot of women and on many fronts, particularly if this is your first. This pregnancy could be the answer to years of prayer and planning, or perhaps if you're feeling overwhelmed with excitement and anxiety or distracted by all of the changes you're feeling in your body, maybe you're feeling uneasy. Even unexpected pregnancies can be joyful news, but also bring about feelings of distress, uneasiness, or maybe even sadness. Please know that Jesus welcomes all of these, and it's my prayer that by listening to this podcast, you have more confidence in your ability to strength train, build muscle, and improve your health even in your pregnancy. So let's dive in. Mistake number 1. We set expectations for ourselves and our bodies that are too high and often hold on to them too hard. Here's what I mean. We think we should be able to get up, to go to work all day, and then train or work out like we did before pregnancy. We set goals of hitting the gym 5 days a week, and then we feel frustrated, maybe even defeated when we can't. Or maybe mornings used to be the perfect time for you to lift, and now you are greeted with morning sickness every time you go to work out. When we hold on to such high expectations, we put extra stress on ourselves and start to feel guilty that we're not meeting those expectations. Maybe we stress about losing muscle mass, gaining weight, or even perhaps have mourned the thought of losing our identity as the girl who lifts, the strong mom, or that super active woman at the church. Listen, if you're an overachiever like me, there's one word you need to cling to in this season: embrace. Embrace it. Instead of closing our fists, crossing our arms, and being closed off to the new changes in pregnancy and fighting for things to stay the same, we need to embrace the changes that come because we can't stop them. Like a big bear hug, like snugly embrace, even if we don't always feel comfortable with them. Listen, while it might not look like there are many changes happening to your body in the first few weeks of pregnancy, there are already massive hormonal changes happening, like building a placenta and, oh yes, co-creating life. And with these changes can come waves of morning sickness, fatigue, and even moodiness for some women. Instead of fighting these things, feeling frustrated at yourself, I want you to embrace the waves of transformation that come in pregnancy and be willing to pivot as often as needed, knowing that you won't feel this way forever. In the book of Exodus, we see the children of Israel being miraculously rescued from Egypt, right? God literally parted an ocean to bring them into his plan. And I bet in their minds, it felt like a massive relief. Finally, we're out of Egypt. Things will be better now. Only to be met with a myriad of trials like famine, attacks, and running out of water to the point where Moses was beating a rock, right, to get water. Now, maybe you're thinking, praise Jesus, I'm finally pregnant. I've made it. But buckle up, God's not done with you yet. Just like the children of Israel, God provides for us, and each trial brings us closer to God's promises for us and ultimately God's redemption and preservation of his promise. But remember, the purpose of pregnancy and parenting for that matter is to sanctify our lives, not simplify our lives. We need to give God the reins on our pregnancy and embrace the waves of change that come in our bodies. And here's what this can look like. Have a light grip on your goals and be ready to pivot. For example, if your goal was to train 5 days a week and in the first few weeks, morning sickness came over you and you can't seem to get out of bed for your morning workouts, what do? You pivot. Experiment with an evening lift or maybe try a different food in the morning. I swore by first thing in the morning, as in I was scrambling to the kitchen to get it before my morning sickness and nausea came, to get 10 to 20 grams of protein first thing in the morning to help with morning sickness. Or maybe try going for a 30-minute walk instead of a lift, and then lift on the weekend when you can wake up later or do it later in the day. Pivot. Embrace the changes, because just like a wave, it doesn't stay on the shore for long before it's gone. Let God do his work of making you depend on him for strength. Okay. Mistake number 2, waiting until you start showing to show up for your pelvic floor. Listen, I know that compared to lifting and doing fun things with dumbbells, doing breath work and deep core work may seem pretty boring, maybe too basic for a bougie strong mama like you. But please know that the moment you get pregnant, your pelvic floor is already starting to change. As estrogen and progesterone rise in pregnancy, the pH levels of our vaginas begins to shift. Mucus production changes and the uterus begins to grow, and with that can start atrophy, stretching, and weakness to our deep core muscles and pelvic floor muscles. And this is not a bad thing. This is a normal change. We don't want to be scared about this, but remember that building a strong core isn't just for the 3rd trimester. It's for all of pregnancy and beyond, particularly if it's your goal to stay active, avoid low back pain, and feel strong during your pregnancy. And remember, this doesn't have to look Pinterest perfect. I missed out on a lot of pelvic floor work because I was waiting for the quote unquote perfect time to do them. I never decided on a time, and it finally took me almost peeing my pants on a run to decide I should probably do something. So I picked 2 days a week that I would use my LV trainer a few minutes before my workout because I was able to connect it to the habit I was already doing. And even for some of my clients, I have them do their deep breathing and Kegels right before bed. Now, if you're wondering what an LV trainer is, check the show notes for a link to this fabulous little gadget designed to make training your pelvic floor simple, maybe even fun. So check the show notes for that. Training your pelvic floor and deep core does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like laying down in the living room at the quiet time of the house. Your toddlers might be running around. It's okay, but it does need to get done. If you want a short and sweet tutorial on how to do a Kegel, because I think you've likely heard of that term before, but if you want to know how to actually do it, how to strengthen your deep core, how to use your breath, then check the show notes for a quick guide I put together for you. Make sure you check those out. On to number 3, and this one gets a bit technical, so buckle up. This is holding your breath during your lifts inside and out of the gym. Now, one of the biggest game changers to help women use their core to support baby and protect their back is when they learn how to breathe during their movements. If we forget to do this, we can increase our pelvic floor downward pressure while we are lifting, which in turn can take much of the work we are doing with our deep breathing and Kegels and backtrack them, which now you see is like shooting yourself in the foot before you run a marathon, and why I put this other mistake in there. So if you're not already doing so, please start inhaling on the eccentric or lowering phase and exhale on the concentric or shortening phase of your movements. Now, here's an example in the gym. As you squat down, let's say you're doing a box squat with a dumbbell, kettlebell, or barbell. As you squat down to a box, you'll inhale. And as you stand up, you'll exhale. Here's why this is so important. As we inhale, we allow our glutes, the rib cage muscles, and lungs to expand and lengthen into a deep squat position. This supports our pelvic floor. And as we exhale, we engage our pelvic floor, deep core, quads, and upper back to lift us out. So remember, inhale down, exhale up. The same goes for push-ups, lunges, deadlifts, you name it. Learn how to breathe. Got it? Okay. Last, but definitely not least, is training for aesthetics instead of function. Listen, pregnancy is a marathon. It takes a lot of work to grow a baby, and even though your body is perfectly capable of doing it, it can feel a lot heavier, more painful, and exhausting if your body isn't functionally prepared to carry the extra weight of a baby, a placenta, and, oh yes, the extra 50% of blood volume that increases in the second trimester. Now, I'm not saying that training for the pump isn't helpful or fun, but when it comes to pregnancy, now is the time, my friend, to focus on your lifting form. Hire a trainer. Hi, I'd love to help you to check your mechanics. Slow down and improve your mind to muscle connection. I know it's tempted when we're targeted with ads that trigger our insecurities and tell us how to get rid of arm fat, tone your butt, or have a belly-only pregnancy. But the exercises in these trainings, and I have checked them, I was once pregnant and targeted with them too. These exercises are often simple movements, meaning that they are not compound movements. And as such, they miss out on giving you a strong carryover into functional movements you are going to do as a mom, like deadlifts, squats, lunges, push-ups, and pull-ups. Listen, if your body is a temple, it's meant to be used and not just looked at. So use pregnancy as a time to shift your focus off of your body's form and into its function. I can tell you that the clients who have gone through pregnancy and have trained through it see their body in a whole new light, and I can't wait to see that for you too. So there you have it, 4 strength training mistakes to avoid in your first trimester of pregnancy. And as always, this podcast is designed to get you into action. So take an action step for today. I don't want you to just nod along with me. I want to help you on your pregnancy journey. So which one is it going to be? Which mistake do you currently either see yourself making sometimes, or if you're not currently pregnant, which mistake might you see yourself making in the future? And which remedy can you start working on now so that when the time comes, you are ready for it? Now, if you are interested in having a training plan that is done for you, that puts all of these pieces together so that you can train for strength during pregnancy and beyond, get on the wait list for True Strength Builder. This 12-month training plan is designed to help moms, busy, active women who are looking to build strength from the acute postpartum phase to 12 months and beyond, get their strength back, rebuild their core, and feel strong and prepared to handle and tackle the challenges of motherhood. To get on the wait list, check out www.truestrengthcollective.com/TSB waitlist and get on it quick because it's filling up fast. Now, I hope today's podcast was a helpful one for you, mama. And if it was, would you please leave us a review? It takes less than 30 seconds and it makes the world a better place by getting this show in front of more moms like you who want a strong pregnancy and stable, strong motherhood. Press pause now and leave us a review. Until next time, friends, stay strong. All the love, Coach Laura.